Hi, I'm Bob Graeff, Kearny High School graduate in the class of 1971. It's my pleasure tonight to share some comments about a member who's being inducted into the Kearny High Hall of Fame, a teacher that many of you had, and a teacher that I had, Miss Speck. Miss Speck was my English teacher the last year she taught at Kearny High School. That was the 70-71 school year. For most of her career, she taught seniors and usually the honors type classes, although she taught the whole gamut of English, I'm sure, from grades 10 through 12 in her time at Kearny High. Miss Speck was a very special teacher. She wasn't the typical kind of teacher that students often remember for being friendly and warm and fuzzy, and perhaps would listen to their personal conversations about high school drama. Miss Speck was an academician. She was the master of her content area and an extraordinary arranger of instruction. Miss Speck never taught from a book where you went from page 7 to page 8 to page 9, answered the question, turned in worksheets. Didn't happen. Miss Speck would design lessons that were very authentic and student involved. They were often in units. I recall very clearly my friends and I, in our senior year in English Lit, had to reenact a coffee house program for 17th and 18th century authors. We took on the role of an author. I was Tobias Smollett and was in charge of a newspaper. I was a very volatile character. She would watch what we said, who we sat with in class, who we argued with in debates about English Lit and social issues at the time, if we had a rum lifesaver or a vanilla wafer in terms of our drinking habits. This was all important to her, that we understood the full flavor of English literature. We would memorize, as many of you did, the first 18 lines of the prologue of Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. And we had to memorize them with the accent that she taught us, as if she herself perhaps was in those times in medieval England. We would reenact certain plays. Just tremendous experiences that are so memorable to me and most of you right now as we speak. A truly tremendous influence in the lives of kids, and made you want to prepare for class, made you want to go deeper, richer into English, and not just turn in your assignments and do your work. A particular memory of mine is that she was never married. She brought her elderly mother to school every day, who stayed in her car in the school parking lot. She would take the windows of her car and line them with cardboard, and her mom would rest and sleep in the car waiting for the end of the school day. There was that close of a relationship between mom and daughter, Erlene and her mother, that just sort of made you have an interesting sense about her personally, but also an admiration as she was so close to her mother in those times, back in those late 60s, that 60s era. Truly an influence on me personally. I became a double major in college in music because of the influence of Mr. Zolodek on my life, but also I became a journalism major because of the influence of Miss Speck on my life. I'm sure she had that unique influence on kids everywhere. They just wanted to study more about English, write better, read better, speak more clearly, because of the influence that she had on us when we were in high school. I truly owe a debt of gratitude to her, as many of you do, I am certain, and how lucky we all were as Kearny Comets to have Miss Speck in our life in a very difficult transitional time in the late 60s. Thank you.